Staying with the endorsement of the candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, by former President Olusegun Obasanjo as his preferred contestant in the forthcoming presidential election. Now, in his New Year message titled "My Appeal to All Nigerians, particularly Young Nigerians," the former president described Mr. Obi as his mentee, adding that the former Anambra State Governor has an edge in the February the 25th, 2023 election. The former president challenged young Nigerians to wake up and take charge of their future, as they have the strength, intellectual capacity, and other attributes that can take the country out of the woods. He said the problems of insecurity, unemployment, and other issues affecting the growth of the country require fresh ideas and skills. In a swift response, APC Presidential Campaign Council says it is not surprised by the former president's move. The Director of Media and Publicity of the APC-PCC, Bayo Nonuga, insists the decision of the Chief of Obasanjo is worthless and that the APC Campaign Council is not surprised by the move. He chided the former president's preference, saying he cannot win a councillorship election for anyone, let alone a presidential election. According to Mr. Onanuga, the APC presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, will not lose his sleep over this endorsement. He declared that the APC will defeat the Labour Party with a wide margin at the February poll. In a related development, the People's Democratic Party's Presidential Campaign Council says the endorsement of the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, by former President Olusegun Obasanjo is nothing but his personal opinion. This was contained in a statement by the spokesperson of the PDP campaign organization, Kola Ologbondiyan. It says the former president's opinion does not reflect the position of the majority of Nigerians across the country because Atiku Abubakar is still the most acceptable of all candidates. PDP's response follows the former president's New Year message and an open letter to Nigerians, where he says the former Anambra governor has an edge over the other presidential candidates. Now, for more on the endorsement of Peter Obi by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, political analyst Olufemi Lawson joins me on the news. Good to have you join us. Now, Happy New Year to you, Mr. Lawson. But let me just ask you, because we've seen several letters in the course of this administration by the president, but this is the first one he has written to specifically to Nigerian youths and advising on who to vote for and how to vote, and also endorsing the candidate of the Labour Party. What's your thought on this letter written by the former president?
Oh, thank you. Happy New Year also to you and the team. Of course, Nigerians must be aware that this is not the first time President Obasanjo will be coming out with this kind of position. Remember, in 2015, he took similar step, having previously in 2007 endorsed former late President Yar'Adua as his party's candidate, subsequently supporting the election of Dr. Jonathan in 2011, and throwing his weight behind the election of President Buhari in 2015. So this is not the first time that President Obasanjo will be coming out with this kind of position. But I think the question should be, how weighty has his endorsement always been to the candidate that he ever chooses to throw his weight behind? For 2023, it is visible that a lot of factors are going to determine who becomes the next president of Nigeria, beyond the endorsement of either President Obasanjo or any other political godfather elsewhere.
But let's even just stay on that issue you just raised. And I know that I think Nigeria has gone past that level where someone can say this is who you vote for, and and everyone goes in that direction. But there are still a few people in this country who has that kind of leverage, and you cannot say that President Obasanjo is not one of those kind of people. He still has a lot of. He's a heavyweight when you look at the Nigeria's political scene. But because of what you just highlighted, you talked about how, for example, he endorsed President Buhari in 2015, and he also said he would never support someone like Atiku, but in 2019, he did, and that surprised a lot of people. Do you think that with that kind of flip-flop, that today Nigerians would take this endorsement seriously and go in that direction?
The endorsement, as far as I'm concerned, is to the best of my own assessment within President Obasanjo's limited, knowledge of Mr. Peter Obi. The endorsement, if you read the letter, did not particularly address the yearnings of Nigeria as we speak. He talked about the character of the candidate, his knowledge, and other qualities which I think are the individual qualities of Mr. Peter Obi. But what Nigeria requires in 2023 is beyond individual qualities or characters. Is he the candidate that is prepared or is presenting what Nigerians require come 2023? I would have expected that such endorsement is premised on Mr. Peter Obi's manifesto, what he has promised Nigerians, not about his personal attributes, or character. Because in 2023, we will require more than even presenting an angel to be president of Nigeria. In 2015, we were all here when individuals, including President Obasanjo, were paying tribute and speaking glowingly about the candidates of the APC, then President Muhammadu Buhari. But today, President Obasanjo has described the 7.5 years of President Buhari as a total failure. Because then it was all about President Buhari, not about what he was coming to do. And I think Nigerians will not fall into the same trap in 2023. So beyond this personal attribute that President Obasanjo has identified, one would have expected that his endorsement is premised on some of the fundamental needs and questions that Nigerians are demanding, yearning for a solution for. We are talking about restructuring of this country and a lot of issues that are key to our survival post-2023. And we will need more than the attributes of an individual, like President Obasanjo has alluded to, to achieve this. So for me, it has to go beyond all these personal attributes of Mr. Peter Obi. And of course, to the extent that we must present a candidate, that has the credibility, that has the manifesto and plans, to address the needs of Nigerians, to address the question of what Nigerians, actually are yearning for in 2023.
But let me ask you, because I'm not sure this is the last endorsement we're going to see before the election. A lot of endorsement. The presidential candidate of the APC has enjoyed a lot of endorsements. So is the presidential candidate of the PDP. Endorsements are coming in, but for some of these candidates, or most of these candidates, their supporters are already there. Nothing is going to sway their supporters. But for those undecided voters, what do you think it's going to sway them? Is it the endorsement? What do you think that they are looking at that would decide how they vote and who they vote for?
Just like I stated earlier, what Nigerians are seeking at this point in time is more of the plans and programs of the candidates and their political parties. It is beyond, the individual characteristics of the candidates of the political parties. Nigeria is at a time as a nation where we need a fundamental, revival of our economy. We need a total restructuring, of the polity. We need, a leader that is coming to economically transform Nigeria from the state of comatose the economy is currently. And 2023 offers us an opportunity to get such leader through the plans, the programs, and manifesto of such political parties and their candidates, not the individual attributes. And I think one of those things that the candidate of the Labour Party seems not to be doing at present is the commitment to the programs of his party and its manifesto, rather than these individual attributes.
Thank you so much for talking to us, political analyst Olufemi Lawson.
It's my pleasure.